I've always been fascinated by the pivotal moments that shape history, and today we are diving into one of Japan's most dramatic. The year is 1615, and the fate of an entire nation hangs in the balance. Imagine this scene: the mighty Osaka castle, surrounded by an army of 150,000 Tokugawa warriors, facing off against the last remnants of the once powerful Toyotomi clan. This, my friends, is the Siege of Osaka, the final act in a drama that would determine Japan's future for centuries to come. So let's dive into this epic tale of power, strategy, and the end of an era. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. To understand this siege, we need to go back a bit. You see, in 1598, the great unifier of Japan, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, breathed his last, leaving behind a young son, Hideyori. Enter Tokugawa Ieyasu, a cunning warlord who saw his chance and took it. By 1603, he had declared himself shogun, but the wealthy Toyotomi clan remained a thorn in his side. Fast forward to 1614, and tensions have reached a boiling point. Ieyasu, not one to leave loose ends, decides it's time to deal with the Toyotomi threat once and for all. He assembles a massive army of 200,000 men and marches on Osaka Castle. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of a full-on assault, Ieyasu opts for a blockade. For months, the castle is bombarded with cannon fire, including some fancy Western-style artillery. As we've seen before in history, sometimes a truce is just a clever ruse. Ieyasu, that sly fox, convinces the defenders to dismantle their outer defenses in exchange for peace. But well, you can probably guess what happens next. Come May 1615, hostilities resume with a vengeance. On June 3rd at Domyoji, 10,000 Toyotomi warriors clash with the Tokugawa vanguard. A sudden thunderstorm turns the tide, and the Toyotomi suffer heavy losses. But the real drama unfolds the next day at Tennoji. In a last desperate gambit, the legendary Sanada Yukimura leads a charge aimed at killing Ieyasu himself. For a moment, just a moment, victory seems within reach. The Tokugawa lines waver, but then reinforcements arrive and the tide turns once again. With their last hope extinguished on the fields of Tennoji, the remaining Toyotomi forces retreat to Osaka Castle for their final stand. On June 5th, 1615, the Tokugawa stormed the fortress. Now, imagine, if you will, flames engulfing the once mighty castle, samurai fighting to the last man, and at the heart of it all, Hideyori and his mother, Yodo-dono, facing their final moments. Of course, as you might expect, the fall of Osaka Castle wasn't just the end of a battle, it was the end of an era. With no rivals left standing, the Tokugawa shogunate ushers in a new age for Japan. For the next 250 years, the land of the rising sun would experience a time of peace, cultural flourishing, and economic growth under Tokugawa rule. It's a remarkable transformation from a country torn by war to a unified nation under a single powerful shogunate. So there you have it, the epic siege that changed the course of Japanese history, from the cunning of Tokugawa Ieyasu to the bravery of Sanada Yukimura. The Siege of Osaka showcases the end of one era and the birth of another. It's a powerful example of how a single event can shape centuries of history. As we've seen time and time again, the echoes of these pivotal moments continue to resonate even in our modern world. Well, that's all for now. Until next time, this is Echo from the Past, and this has been a journey through one of history's most dramatic sieges.